Some friendships defy all logic, transcending time and reason. What if a bond between a girl and a raven became the only thing standing between life and death? This is the story of Angelina, a young girl full of laughter and wonder, and Charlie, an unlikely but devoted feathered companion. When tragedy strikes and all hope seems lost, an extraordinary event unfolds, one that will leave an entire town questioning fate itself. Before we begin, let us know where you're listening from today, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Angelina was a joyful and lovely girl who was raised in a warm and caring family in a small town in Oregon, where an atmosphere of love surrounded her. Her days were filled with laughter and happiness, with each new moment bringing delightful discoveries that she cherished. On her 6th birthday, one of the most unforgettable moments occurred when her father, Michael, surprised her with a crow chick, making that day incredibly special. Angelina was initially taken aback by such an unusual present, but she gladly accepted it, vowing to her father that she would look after the crow as a loyal companion. She named him Charlie, and from that moment on, they became inseparable, sharing endless adventures and games. They would chase each other through the tall grass, play hide and seek among the garden flowers, and watch the sunset together in the evenings. Their days were filled with laughter, curiosity, and an unbreakable bond that only deepened over time. Together they explored the world around them, marveling at the beauty of nature and uncovering the tiny secrets of the earth. Angelina found joy in watching Charlie learn to fly, his little wings flapping excitedly until he gained confidence in the air. She would encourage him, cheering him on as he attempted new feats. When she sat outside reading a book, Charlie would perch on her shoulder, softly cawing as if he too wanted to be part of the story. Angelina especially loved spending time in the garden, where she felt most at peace. She would dig in the soil, plant flowers, and talk to Charlie about her dreams and thoughts as if he could truly understand. It was their special place, a haven where they both felt free and alive, treasuring every moment in each other's company. She cared for the young bird with great attentiveness, feeding it and observing with fascination as it grew stronger. From a tiny, helpless chick, Charlie transformed into a confident sparrow, swiftly mastering the art of flying. Yet, no matter how high he soared, he always returned to Angelina whenever she called, as though their connection was beyond mere words. Their friendship was built on deep trust and understanding, strengthening with each passing day. Every time Angelina watched Charlie gracefully glide through the sky, her heart filled with pride and delight. She believed their bond was something truly magical, enriching her life in countless ways. For her, every one of Charlie's flights symbolized freedom and hope, reinforcing her belief that genuine friendship could conquer any hardship. However, not every moment in life was easy. Angelina's father, a dedicated truck driver, frequently had to leave home for work, spending long days on the road delivering goods across the country. He often sent postcards from different cities, describing the landscapes he passed and the people he met along the way. Each time he returned home, he brought Angelina souvenirs, from colorful trinkets to exotic candies, and shared fascinating stories about his adventures. She listened with wide eyes, dreaming of the day she too could explore the world beyond their small town. She eagerly awaited his homecomings, her excitement growing as she imagined the surprises he might have for her. Sometimes he brought small carved animals from roadside markets. Other times, he gifted her books filled with stories of distant lands. Their reunions were always filled with warmth, and Angelina cherished every moment spent with her father, knowing that soon he would be back on the road again. But one day, while playing in the garden, Angelina suddenly felt a tightness in her chest. A strange sensation spread through her throat, making it harder to breathe. Her small hands flew to her neck as she gasped, eyes widening in fear. Panic consumed her as she struggled for air, her vision blurring. The once peaceful garden, filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the soft rustling of leaves, became a place of terror. She collapsed to her knees, her body trembling as she fought to draw in a breath, her mind spinning in confusion and fear. The moment her parents noticed, they immediately rushed to her side, their hearts pounding with fear and desperation. Without wasting a single second, they carried her to the car and sped towards the hospital, their hands shaking as they held onto her fragile body. As they weaved through traffic, her mother whispered prayers under her breath, pleading with the universe to let her little girl survive. Every red light felt like an eternity, every second stretching unbearably long as they raced against time. Upon arriving at the hospital, the doctors took her into the emergency room, working frantically to revive her. Machines beeped loudly, The sound of rushed footsteps echoed down the hallways, and nurses moved swiftly in and out of the room, their faces tense with urgency. Her parents clung to each other, watching helplessly as the medical team did everything in their power. Minutes passed like hours, each second bringing either hope or despair. But despite the doctor's best efforts, exhaustion weighed on their faces as they ultimately declared her dead. The words felt surreal, an impossible nightmare unfolding before their eyes. Overwhelmed with shock and sorrow, her parents fell into each other's arms, unable to process the cruel reality. Tears streamed down their faces, their sobs echoing through the sterile hospital corridors. They shook their heads in disbelief, refusing to accept that their beloved daughter was gone. It felt as though their world had shattered in an instant, the light in their lives extinguished. How could someone so full of joy and life be taken from them so suddenly? They held on to each other, their grief consuming them, struggling to comprehend the unbearable loss of their child. They couldn't comprehend the unbearable loss of their beloved daughter, their hearts consumed by unimaginable pain and grief. Every second stretched into eternity, and they felt lost, unsure of how to move forward without Angelina, their source of light and happiness. In that moment, the world around them seemed to come to a standstill as they were engulfed in despair, struggling to accept the cruel reality. Meanwhile, outside the hospital window, Charlie sat, his sharp eyes fixated on the room where Angelina lay. A deep instinct gnawed at him, an unshakable feeling that something was terribly wrong. He shifted on the ledge, tilting his head as if listening for any sign of life from his beloved friend. When none came, he let out a piercing call, a cry of distress that echoed through the air. Still, no response. His unease grew, and he remained perched there, waiting, watching, hoping. As the days passed and Angelina's parents prepared for the funeral, Charlie became restless. He refused to leave the area, circling the house, watching as mourners arrived, his beady black eyes filled with sorrow. Then, when the procession moved to the cemetery, Charlie followed, flying silently above them, his heart aching in a way only a creature of deep loyalty could understand. At the gravesite, as the casket was placed down, Charlie suddenly swooped in. Gasps rose among the mourners as he landed on the polished wood, his claws gripping the surface tightly. Without hesitation, he began pecking at Angelina's body through a small opening in the casket, his desperate attempts to wake her up growing more urgent. His frantic cawing sent a shiver through the crowd. It was as if he knew something that they did not. Her parents tried to shoo the bird away, but Charlie refused to leave. He remained determined, unwilling to abandon his beloved friend. He cawed louder, his wings flapping frantically as he pecked at the wood, desperate to wake her. The mourners murmured among themselves, some frightened by the raven's insistence, others intrigued by its unwavering determination. Just as someone reached out to push the bird away, something astonishing happened. Angelina suddenly opened her eyes and started coughing, her fragile body jerking as she struggled to sit up. Gasps filled the air as the realization set in. She had not passed away. The doctors had made a grave mistake. Instead, she had fallen into an artificial coma, her body appearing lifeless though her spirit had still lingered. Her mother let out a choked sob as she rushed forward, trembling hands reaching to touch her daughter's face, unable to believe the miracle unfolding before her. Angelina blinked in confusion, her breath ragged as she tried to comprehend what was happening. The mourners stepped back, their faces pale with shock as they watched her return from what they had believed to be certain death. At that moment, the raven took flight, soaring above them as if he had completed his duty. Those present exchanged bewildered glances, whispering about the impossible event they had just witnessed. Angelina's father clutched his chest, tears streaming down his cheeks, overwhelmed with relief. The weight of sorrow that had crushed them only moments before lifted, replaced by disbelief and gratitude. Their daughter was alive, and it was all thanks to Charlie, the faithful raven who had never given up on his best friend. The doctors had made a grave mistake, failing to recognize that Angelina was still alive. Only Charlie had sensed the truth and had fought tirelessly to awaken her. His relentless actions had not been in vain. He had known, deep within his instincts, that his beloved friend was not truly gone, and his determination had made the impossible happen. As her parents witnessed their daughter's revival, they were overwhelmed with immense relief, their grief dissolving into joyous disbelief. Tears of happiness streamed down their faces as they held her, unable to fully process the miracle unfolding before them. The gathered mourners stood in stunned silence, their expressions frozen in shock. Some clutched their chests, whispering prayers, while others wiped away tears of amazement. The doctors, who had been so certain of their diagnosis, exchanged bewildered glances, their expertise called into question by an unlikely savior, a raven. Angelina's mother sobbed into her husband's shoulder, gripping him tightly as if afraid that letting go would make her daughter disappear again. Her father, shaking with emotion, knelt beside Angelina, brushing her hair away from her face as he whispered words of love and gratitude. Charlie, now perched on a tree branch nearby, watched the scene unfold with a quiet sense of accomplishment. He had done what no one else could. He had saved his best friend. As the sun peeked through the clouds, illuminating the moment with a golden glow, Angelina turned her gaze to the sky, knowing that her life had been forever changed. Her bond with Charlie was now something beyond friendship. It was a testament to faith, perseverance, and an unbreakable connection that would last a lifetime. From that day forward, Angelina and Charlie became even more inseparable, their friendship turning into a powerful symbol of hope and loyalty. The extraordinary tale of how the raven had rescued his friends spread far and wide, inspiring many. Angelina understood more than ever that true friendship could defy all odds, and she remained forever grateful to her faithful companion for never leaving her side. But what do you think? Can the bond between humans and animals go beyond what we understand, perhaps even reaching into the realm of the miraculous? Let us know in the comments below.